Okay, so we're on page 145. So go ahead and turn to page 145 in grammar. Start there. You guys probably noticed we're getting pretty far in our grammar books, which is nice. And then when we're done with grammar, we're done with grammar. Could just focus on the writing part. So getting there, just a few more weeks left. Technically, I think we have 7 weeks of class left, I think. Let me double check. Because our last week will be the last week in May. Let's see, we have I'll count today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 classes counting today. So crazy, summer's coming. All right, which will be nice, huh? And we get a little break.
The time where you go into summer, then you go back to school, but you forgot everything.
No, don't forget everything. I do
I'll
have to
forget
ask you.
math, I won't forget English.
Okay, good. As long as you don't forget the writing and stuff. Um, do you guys have state testing right now? Anybody in the middle of doing that or planning on doing that?
I just got done last week.
Okay. Are you doing state testing, Nisaya?
I'm not aware of anything, so I don't think so.
Okay. And it looked like you were, William, you were nodding. Are you doing it this week?
No, I already finished it like a month ago.
Oh, like a month ago. Okay, cool. Well, I just was going to tell you, if you ever have to do a test, a writing test for your school or for the state or whatever, you can always use our keyword outline and the dress ups and things like that when you go to do a test. That'll help you with your grade. Just in case you have any tests coming up like that, because sometimes they do like a end of the year writing test, but every teacher and school is a little bit different. So just keep that in mind. That's all I wanted to say about that. Okay, this is a review page. You guys already know about prepositions. You've been marking prepositional phrases for a while now, and you use them in your, are you using them in your writing yet? I always forget because every class is a little different. So let me check. I don't know if you're doing, no, you're not. Okay, but you are finding them in your grammar book. Eventually, you're going to start using them in your writing too. But a preposition starts a phrase that shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun and another word in the sentence. The soldier fell into the moat. You guys know what a moat is, right? Okay, William, what's a moat? Can you explain it? Oh, you just remuted yourself. There you go. Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Something's happening. Can't hear you. You're muted now. Still can't hear you. I wonder if it's your headset. Is it plugged in all the way? Okay. Weird. Okay, well, a moat is basically that. If you think of a castle, it's the water around the castle that protects the people inside the castle. Usually there's like alligators or crocodiles or some kind of man-eating fish inside the moat so that it's a layer of protection. So that's what a moat is. It's water. So this is not good that the soldier fell into the moat. Hopefully he is okay. But anyway, into, that word into shows the relationship between soldier and moat. It shows where the soldier fell. So into the moat is the prepositional phrase. And then here the soldier jumped over the moat. Over shows the relationship between soldier and moat. It shows where the soldier jumped. So over the moat, again, is a prepositional phrase. So the two prepositions here are into and over, okay? And then it says, write a sentence with a prepositional phrase that shows the relationship between princess and bridge. So think of like a prepositional phrase to put in between those two about the princess and the bridge. What do you think we could come up with? Anybody have any ideas? And then William, if you have an idea, you could type it in the chat, maybe. Nisaya?
The princess walked over the bridge.
Yes, that's good, because over is a preposition, so over the bridge, that would be good. Anybody else have any ideas? I'm gonna write that one down in the meantime. You can write this one down, or if you think of a different one, you can put a different one. The princess walked over the bridge. And that word over is a preposition. So the phrase is over the bridge. Tyler?
Is climbed a preposition?
Well, no, because climbed is an action, right?
Oh,
It's
okay.
something that they're doing. So that would be a verb. And we're going to look at actually really quick. Let's take a look at the list of prepositions. Do you guys still have this page tabbed back here from way back? I think we did this like long time ago. Go to the page that has the little post-it that says prepositions. It should be page 43. All the way back to page 43. You'll see at the bottom of this page, there is the list of prepositions, okay? So these are all of them. Aboard, about, above, according to, across, after, against, along, amid, among. They're all in alphabetical order. The most common ones are like as and at and by and in and of and for and from. Those are the most common type. There's also with and to and over. So like over the bridge is a prepositional phrase. It has over, which is on this list. So when you're trying to create something with a prepositional phrase, this is a good page to turn back to look at this list. Okay. Any questions about that so far? Okay. So let's go back to this page here. It says answer these questions orally, but I'm going to have you write it down. It says, what is the prepositional phrase pattern? And the pattern is, go ahead and write this down, preposition plus noun. And then underneath that, in parentheses, put no verb. Oops, move that over so you can see that. So a prepositional phrase does not have a verb, okay? It only has a preposition and a noun. There might be some extra words in between, like here we have the article the, but over the bridge, you have the preposition over and the noun bridge. You do have the in between, that's okay. But this is the pattern, okay? Preposition plus noun. And then it says to list 5 prepositions. Do you guys remember from that page 43? Can you think of 5 of them? You can go back and look if you need to. We're going to make a list of 5. Tyler?
Into,
Into is one. Good.
between,
Good.
by,
By.
is like when I can't remember.
Like, yes.
Okay, like, minus,
What's the last one?
minus.
Minus?
Yeah,
Is that one?
yes.
Minus. Like a math word minus?
Yeah,
Oh, it is on there.
M-I-N-U-S.
I didn't even know that one. Minus, that's an interesting one. There's words like at and of and in and out and onto and, well, a lot of those types of words too. But minus, interesting. Yeah, I forgot about that one. It's pretty good. Okay. Just remember, you can always go back to that page to help you. And then down here it says, think about it. Many words can be used as different parts of speech. However, a word can perform only one part of speech at a time. For example, since can be a preposition. So it's on that list on page 43, the word since, that begins a prepositional phrase. And since can be a WWW word that begins an adverb clause. Remember when, while, where, as, since, if, although, because. So since is one of those words too, and those are completely different. One's a phrase, the prepositional phrase, and one is an adverb clause. So it's talking about the difference here. Here's an example of the word since as a prepositional phrase. The princess has been sick since yesterday. So the word since is a preposition, and the word yesterday in this sentence is a noun. So remember the pattern, preposition plus noun, no verb, so that makes sense, since yesterday. Since yesterday is a prepositional phrase, preposition since plus noun yesterday, no verb. Here's the example of the adverb clause. The princess has been sick since she ate the apples. Since she ate the apples is an adverb clause because you see that word ate. I know it's a banned word, but we're just talking about our grammar book here. But ate is a verb. This has a verb, so now it's become an adverb clause. It has the pattern www word, since, plus subject she, plus verb ate. That's the pattern for an adverb clause. So that they wanted to show you the word since can be used different ways. So you just have to pay attention to what words are next to it or near it. All right, let's go on to the practice today. And Tyler, can you read this sentence, please? Uh-oh, I can't hear you now.
It grew and grew to the floor, out the window, and over the lush lawn.
Okay, so you guys, do you remember what we're talking about? What is it that grew?
The plant. No, but
No,
the tree,
no.
right?
Okay, William, is your microphone working?
Uh,
There it is.
Princess's nose.
The nose, her nose. Remember she ate the apples and her nose keeps growing? And it went to the floor, out the window, and over the lawn. So now I don't think she can move. But do you guys know another story where somebody's nose grows like that? Yeah, which one, William? What's the other story that you know?
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. And why did his nose grow?
He
Remember
was
why?
lying.
He was lying. Good. So that's Pinocchio. This one, what did she do to make her nose grow? Do you remember?
He ate an apple.
Like not just one apple, but like a bunch of apples, right? And then the apples there was something weird about it, made her nose grow. So, okay. The vocabulary word is lush. And that means really green and full, like really fluffy grass. Lots of green and lots of nice grass, like no blank spots. I don't know if you've ever seen a lawn that has like dead spots in it. That happens a lot in California. But this is a lush lawn, meaning it's really green and it's very healthy and full of grass. So we can check that. That's going to be an adjective, by the way, describing the lawn. There are 3 articles, so go ahead and find those by yourself and mark those. And then when you're ready, Tyler, help us find the nouns.
Is lawn a noun?
Lawn is a noun.
Floor?
Yep,
Window?
yep, that's it. How about Nisaya? What about the pronoun?
It.
Good, it. And then William, the adjective.
Lush.
Good. That's describing the lawn. I gave that away earlier. Back to Tyler for the conjunctions.
Already?
Fast.
Okay, and.
And
Why did I
good.
say and 3 times? Never mind, I just said it a 4th.
And then we'll come back to the prepositional phrase, but Nisaya, how about the verbs? Where are the action words here?
Grew
Yes.
and grew.
And grew. Good. Those are the verbs. And then Nasaya, what's the subject that goes with that? What is
It.
there you go. It grew and grew. So we're talking about her nose. It's the pronoun it. That's the subject there. And then William, what about the prepositional phrases? There's 3 of them. You see them in there?
Out the window to the floor. Over
Yep.
the lush lawn.
Good. So we got to, out, and over. Those are the prepositions. So to the floor, out the window, over the lawn. Those are the prepositional phrases. Nice job. 1 capital, that's easy, just the first letter, and then the end mark at the end is a period.
I
Man,
was
that was
ready to
good.
do that.
Oh, sorry, I just took it from you, huh? That was fast. Good job, guys. So your homework, as usual, is going to be the next 3 pages. And I am anxious to hear your stories if you want to share. So go ahead and get your binders out. And you guys wrote about either the overdressed children or your own made up story. So Tyler?
Are you okay if I share before I go?
Yep, you can go
Okay.
first. Absolutely. You have yours
So
ready?
my story is called The Happy Experience.
The happy experience. Okay.
Once upon a time, these 3 children were traveling to their aunt's house because it was a snowy day. They got up really early because they had a 6-hour drive ahead of them. It was a long ride there. On the way there, it snowed nonstop, which was very annoying for the driver. Once they got back there, they headed inside. Once they got back, they headed inside. You'll have to send it back to me.
Okay, I'll send it
There's a
back.
little typo. They
Okay.
headed inside. They eventually wanted to play outside because it was snowing. It was such a snowy day for them. When these kids were on their way to head outside, their aunt told them they needed snow gear. So their aunt overdressed them because she didn't want them to get sick. They were now ready to head outside, but when they got outside, one loudly exclaimed, "I can't put my arms down," which was really bad because they all found 2 bears, a mama
Oh
and a cub.
no.
The kids were scared that the bears would devour them because of how much mama bears protect their cubs. As long as they were respectful and let the bears have their space, they would be fine. They were scared because they were overdressed in snow gear so they couldn't move well. When these kids found the bears, they tried getting back inside, but the door was locked. So they all started to run, even though you should never run from a bear because it will just chase you. So the bears chased them and they went all the way from their aunt's house to the nearest market, which was 7 miles away, which is pretty far. It was a long journey for them. The market was closed, so they
Oh
departed
no.
from the
Oh
market
my
and ran back
gosh.
to the house to try and get in. Their aunt was driving around and found them scaringly running from the bears. She
Oh,
quickly got out of the car and tried to get the kids in the car, but because of how much she overdressed them, which was a bad decision, they were really heavy. So they
oh
got
my
in the
gosh.
car themselves. The bear started to take off its fur, dot dot dot. Apparently, it was the kids' mom and dad just trying to scare them.
Oh my
When they all
gosh.
got home, they
After all that.
dismantled the snow gear the kids had on them, and they had hot cocoa and headed back to town because school was starting up. On the way back, the parents made sure that the kids were warm in the car, and they were all happy after this experience.
Oh, good. It was a happy ending. Yay. That was good. Give him a clap like this in the camera, guys. That was good. I liked that word dismantled. I heard you say that. That was a good one. Did you think of that one by yourself? That was a good one.
So I
Dismantle.
had to look up some ideas.
Okay, good. But you did, and that's a good thing to do. Learn how to find good words. And then the only other thing I heard, I think, when they were dressed and sticky, like they couldn't move, and you said something about the the mama bear protecting the cub, I think.
Yeah.
You said, I think because of how the mama bear protects her cub. Is that what you said?
Uh, yeah. Should I take
Okay.
the because of?
Well, I just
Oh
want to
no,
ask
because
you.
then it doesn't become a because clause.
Uh-huh. But I didn't know did you underline that word because there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I returned it back to you. So just fix that, take off because and make sure it makes sense. And then
Take
I
off
think
all.
you're gonna fix something else. So, but you
Yeah.
can do that later or whenever. But I love, love, love your story. It was great. Good job, Tyler.
Thank you.
Oh, you're
That
welcome.
story really took a turn.
I know it was like, oh, okay, then they're gonna go to the market. Okay, phew. Oh wait, the market's closed. Ah, now what? It's like all this suspense, and then it ended up
It
being
took
the
me
parent.
maybe 5 minutes to know what I wanted the story to be
Oh
like.
my gosh. And then I like how he started to, did you say like unzip his um costume, or I forgot how you worded it, like the fur on the bear?
Yeah. I said he started to take off his fur.
Take off his fur. And I was like, okay, what is happening now? That was crazy. I love it. Good job. Anybody else feel like reading their story? No? Oh, good. Yay. Nisaya, are you going to read yours? Yay. Okay, go for it.
Give me a hot second.
Okay, no problem. I'm recording for you, Tyler, so whenever you need to leave, I'll see you next time.
Alright, I'm just gonna fix
Okay.
this and then I'll leave.
Okay. Got it, Nisaya?
This story's called The Young Inventor.
Okay.
Fort Firm is no place for a stray cat. Thankfully, I'm still alive. Although I'm alive, a lot has happened, so much that I can't walk without oil. And so,
Without what?
without oil,
Without oil?
walk without oil.
These stories are crazy.
Okay, keep going.
And so I wander. My name is Vent, a cat that was saved and cared for by a young inventor named Axel, who gave me legs so I could walk again.
Wow, this is really interesting.
To repay him, I search for parts he wishes for his machines to improve. As much as he is smart, he still has a lot to learn. Is what his father said, is what his father implied. He believes Axel is not good enough because his frustrations get the best of him. But yet I am just a bland cat that explores the highs and lows of Fort Fern for a friend. Come on, I'm so close, Axel commented as a strange blue liquid drips onto the floor from his desk. Vent carefully steps over it while coming closer to his friend. Vent then jumps onto the desk with a letter from Axel's dream school in his mouth. The University of Inventors. Yes! Yelled Axel once finally
Tyler's cracking up over there.
completing his his invention. He then sits down at his desk chair because he wants to relax. Eventually, he finds Vent sitting on his desk with the letter.
Oops.
He then takes the letter out of Vent's mouth, and once he spotted the university crest, Axel falls from his chair, which caused him to scream, "Ow." Axel quickly gets on his feet and opens the letter. He rambled, "I finally got accepted!" Then rubs himself on the base of Axel's leg as a symbol of happiness for his friend.
Aw.
The happy young inventor walked downstairs to tell his parents the splendid news. That event that evening, Axel starts packing because the school has a dorm room policy. Vent sits then sits and stares at Axel while he's packing. Puzzled on puzzled one wait what? Puzzled one what did I say?
Uh-oh.
On why he's sad, which causes him to meow nonstop. Axel sighed and murmured, "What am I gonna do with you?" Vint then realized the message he sent had something to do with it. Suddenly, Axel spoke again. "I'm sorry, Vent. I'll have to leave you here. I'll be back in a year."
Good job, Messiah. Woohoo! Give her a
Weirdest thing
clap in
I've
the
ever
camera.
written.
What did you say?
That's the weirdest thing I've ever written.
How did you come up with the names? I think it's hilarious.
Young inventor.
Yeah, the young inventor and Vent and Axel. Those are cool names. It's really cool. I like how you came up with that. That was good, Tyler.
I actually had to go 2 minutes ago, but I thought I'd say because of how funny the
You wanted
story
to
was.
hear it.
Also, before I go, what website do I go to apply for the University of Inventors?
Yeah, what's the website? We have to know.
I'm not sure. Gotta ask Axel. Gotta ask
Ask
him.
Axel.
I don't know.
I'll go search a Bing.
Okay, let us know what you find out. Bye, Tyler.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. I loved it. Very good, Messiah. It was very entertaining for sure. That was cute. William, did you want to read yours? No? Do you have a question though? Or something to say? Okay, I thought I saw your hand. Okay. Well, we're gonna look at the next story here. So there are a couple things I don't want you to put away yet though, so let me show you that first. This page here, I think we talked about it last week. This page is great because it's a nice big list of LY adverbs. This should be with your packet from last week with overdressed children. I suggested you put this on a wall. I just want to make sure I told you that. But if it's okay with your parents, if they let you tape this on the wall near where you work, where you do your homework and stuff, maybe it's in your bedroom or in the kitchen. If you put this up on a wall somewhere, then you'll know where it's at. You can refer back to it. If they don't want you to do that, you can keep it in your binder. We'll just keep it in the front pocket, okay? Because this is a nice big list of LY adverbs that'll help you. And I think we talked about this little box over here. These are the imposters. So you can use these words in your story if you want to, but don't underline it as an adverb because these are actually adjectives. Okay, you can use it as a strong adjective, but make sure you know the difference. They gave you this little list here. So, and then this one, the yellow one, go ahead and put this one away first in your binder. It goes behind model, charts, and outlines. So you can put it there first. A little easier that way. This tab that says model, charts, and outlines, it goes behind all those yellow pages. Stick that in there. And then the rest of the stuff for overdressed children, you can put either behind finished compositions or in a different spot in a different binder if you have a different place to keep it. It's up to you, wherever you normally keep it. But you're going to put away overdressed children, which is week 14, because we're done with that one. Don't forget to close your rings when you're flipping through your binder. And then once you have that put away, you're going to get out the next one. I think you'll like this one. I'm excited. Now I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. But the next one is week 15. It's behind source text at the front here. And it's called Book and Dinosaurs. There's only 3 pages. You don't need lined paper today, just those 3 pages for this one. Don't forget to close your rings. And then once you have those 3 pages out, give me a thumbs up so I know you're all set. Okay, thank you. Okay, good. Nice. Okay, so you can go ahead and go to this page, the very next page here, and here's what you're going to be working on this week to be kind of fun. And probably the first thing you might have noticed is this X down here at the bottom. And that is because they want you to come up with an ending. So you can either draw over that X or just think about how you want this story to end. But basically, they're just giving you the beginning and the middle of the story. But before we start talking about these pictures, I want you to turn this page over to the back side, the blank side. Okay, just flip it over. And we're going to list those question words. Remember, that's how we access ideas in our brains, asking ourselves questions. Remember how I told you a while back, that's how you think. Remember, I asked you that hard question, is like, how do you think? And you're like, I don't know, I just do. And it's true. You just do. When you're thinking, it just happens. But if you really dig deeper into what that means, you're actually asking yourself questions without even realizing it, but that's how you think. So there are 6 big questions. They're the big question words at the beginning of a question. Do you guys remember what those words are? Like the first word of a question. I'll get it started for you. So that I'm just going to make a list in the middle of the back of this page right here. So I want you to write down who, that's a question word. What, remember these? When, where, why, and how. And then I like to draw a big question mark just because it's cool. Who, what, when, where, why, how. Those are 6 words to begin a question. And we call those the big 6. Who, what, when, where, why, how. This is going to help you come up with a plot for your story. Like for Nisaya, you asked yourself who, like what are their names, right? And you came up with their names. And then why certain things were happening in your story, how, where, all of those questions. These are good to access ideas in your head. Okay, then draw a line here because we have extra questions that we also ask. Like outside, like what's happening outside the picture. And then the word invisible. Oops. Maybe there's something invisible that we don't see in the picture that's there that you can talk about. And then the words before and after. What's happening before and after? I'm going to draw another line and put a question mark here. These basically are just words and questions to ask yourself to inspire you in your story writing. So one more set of questions we can put here. Think, say, do, and then feel. How does your character feel? What's happening? Like, what are they saying? What are they thinking? What are they doing? Okay, again, all of these are to help you brainstorm ideas on a story. Now, did either of you guys use your keyword outline to help you write your story, or did you just write it from your head? How did you do yours, Nisaya? Did you actually fill out the keyword outline?
Not really. I just kind of took notes on the side of it.
Perfect. Okay, that's good. How about you, William? Did you use the keyword outline?
Yeah.
You did? Okay. So we're going to practice by filling this one in together, but I'm going to have you guys do it whatever makes sense to you. Okay, so let's flip it back over to the pictures. So what I mean is we'll brainstorm ideas here. But when you sit down to write your story, if you want to write something different, that's okay. If you like taking notes, that's okay. In fact, if you think of ideas that I don't write down, just use this for yourself. So put down the things that you want to put down for yourself here. All right, so the central fact, remember we talked about that a couple of times. Central fact is what's literally happening in the picture, right? So I'll start with William. What do you see literally in this picture right here?
A boy reading a book.
A boy reading a dinosaur book. Okay, so we might as well start off by giving the boy a name. Do you have a name for him, William? What name do you want to give this guy?
Judah.
Judah? Okay, that's cool. How about you, Nasiah?
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew? Those are both Bible names, right? Isn't Bartholomew? Is that what it is? Bartholomew? I think he's in the Bible. I don't even know how to spell that. Well, how about we call him Bart for short? Bart for short. All right, and then you can put Judah on yours, okay, William, or if you change your mind, that's okay. And there's a book and it's about dinosaurs. So basically that central fact is what's literally in the picture, and that's basically what we see. From there, we start asking our questions that we put on the back. So let's start with the question word where. Turn this over. That's on here. That's one of our questions. So where do you think Bart is, Nasiah? Where is he right now?
In a classroom.
Okay, in a classroom. What do you think, William? Are you going to have your Judah in the classroom? Or where else? Okay, where is he?
In a museum.
In a museum. Okay. He found a book maybe in the gift shop at the museum. He's sat down and looked at it. He could be at the library. He could be at his house. Maybe he has this book. Maybe it's like one of his books they got for his birthday. And so you can put on number one just to jot some notes down where you think he is. And another good question, because you're answering where is he, and then why is he reading this book? Why do you think he's reading this book, William? At the museum.
He's bored.
He's bored. Okay, that's a reason. I like it. How about you, Nasiah? Why do you think he's reading the book?
It's reading time in class.
It's reading time in class. Okay, good. He might be done with his work and the teacher's like, go ahead and read a book. And maybe he has it in his desk and he's like, okay, I'm going to read this book. Good. So jot some of those keywords down. I'm going to let you guys do that. Where he is and why he's reading the book, just to get some ideas down. And like I said, when you sit down to write this story for your homework time, you can go off of what you wrote, or if you're inspired in the meantime, if you're inspired by something else, you can change it up. You don't have to turn this part in. Okay, this is just to help you come up with some ideas. So we already answered where and why. How about, is there anything that you guys want to say that's invisible? Like, is there anything happening in the background here that you can think of? Or on the outside of the frame of the picture? You guys think of any of those ideas? What do you think, William?
He's in a exhibit.
Okay. He's at an exhibit at the museum, and maybe in the background, do you think there could be like bones of a dinosaur? Okay. I'm kind of getting a vibe like Night at the Museum a little bit here. Is that what you're thinking, possibly? Okay. You guys have seen that movie, right? Night at the Museum? Yeah, it's a good one. There's like, I don't know, 5 of them, a lot of them. How about you, Nisaya? Can you think of anything? I guess he's at a classroom, so maybe there's students in the background at their desks or something.
The teacher walking around,
Teachers walking around.
looking,
What was that last part?
making sure everyone's reading.
Okay. So she's walking around, checking everything. Good. And then so go ahead and start jotting down some of those thoughts. Write down those words. Let's think for a minute about how he's feeling looking at his expression. What do you think, William? How do you think he's feeling, or what do you think he's thinking right now?
He's happy.
He's happy. Okay, he's enjoying the book. He really likes dinosaurs and he thinks they're cool. What about you, Nisaya? Do you have any other ideas of what he's thinking or what he's feeling right here?
This page looks interesting.
That's what he's thinking. This page looks interesting. I can't really see. I don't know. It's kind of like not clear what he's looking at, like what dinosaur he's looking at. I guess later we see these actual dinosaurs, but we're gonna move on from here. So if you still have a couple blanks, you can fill those in later with your question words. But let's move on to what's going on now in the middle. We have a central fact. So Nasaya, what's literally in that picture? What do you see now?
Dinosaurs coming out of the book.
Yes. So we could say dinosaurs. You could put come out or become alive. However you want to put that, you put it on yours. I'm just going to put dinosaurs come out. I'm going to put an exclamation mark because this is now changing. Now it's taking a turn now. Now it's about to get interesting. I have a feeling. So, looking at the boy, Judah, or Bart for short, what do you think he's thinking here, William? How does he feel? What is he thinking here? Up, I couldn't hear you. Can't hear you.
Terrified.
Oh, there we go. Terrified. Good. That's a good word. Terrified. And shocked, maybe. Those are good words on how he feels. All right, so let's just brainstorm. You guys have any ideas of what's going to happen next as these dinosaurs are coming out of the book? What do you think, Nisaya? Is this going to be a happy story or tragic? We don't want anybody dying, so try to stay away from that topic. I know. I saw you, William. You were thinking about that. Nobody's going to die, but it can get scary.
Plot twist. The dinosaurs are now scared of him.
I like that you like these twists that you don't expect. That's a good one. The dinosaurs are now scared of even this T-Rex right here with all these sharp teeth going on. Okay, that's good. I like that. Do you have any ideas, William? What's going to happen next here?
Um, they're gonna eat some meat that was on the ground.
But not a person, right? I know the thoughts that are happening in your brain right now. They're at he's at a museum, and so they're gonna go eat some meat that's on the ground. You said maybe they're in the cafeteria, or they run to the cafeteria and a bunch of people like scream and drop their food on the ground, and then they're just eating the food on the ground or something.
No, they're eating the leftovers.
Wait, say that one more time.
They're eating the leftovers.
Oh, eating the leftovers. That's a good one. So write some of those words down, like eating leftovers. And yours, you're gonna put Nasaya a plot twist. They're scared of Bart. By the way, you can name your dinosaurs too if you want. It looks like to me like this one's the T-Rex. That one's easy to identify, but do you guys know the names of these other two dinosaurs here?
Triceratops, and I don't know the middle.
The middle one, Triceratops. Yeah, I've seen that one before. Yeah, this one in the middle has like one horn, I think, at the front.
I've seen it in a book, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, they're hard names sometimes to remember, but Triceratops, that looks familiar. Okay, so what I'm doing without flipping this back and over each time, but remember, these are the things you're asking yourself, okay? So I'm thinking, what could be in the background here that's invisible in the picture? Because I know the setting is different for you, Nasaya, at a classroom, and then Williams is at a museum. So Nasaya, what do you think's going on here in the background that we don't see?
His classmates becoming terrified and running out the door.
Okay, so the classmates are terrified, but are the dinosaurs only afraid of Bart?
Yes, only afraid of Bart.
So maybe the classmates are afraid of Bart also.
No, they're afraid of the dinosaurs. Then the dinosaurs are afraid of Bart.
Okay. I like it. Oh, this is gonna be good. Nice. Are you guys gonna name your dinosaurs here? Gonna give them names too? No, Messiah. Are you gonna give yours names, William? No, okay, we're just gonna keep them legit dinosaurs. Okay. And they're running out of the classroom. And it sounds like for William, they ran into maybe the cafeteria where the food is.
Buffet.
Oh, buffet. I like it. That makes sense. So this food that's left on the buffet bar, that's what they're eating. They're hungry. They've been stuck in a book, right? They're hungry. So that makes sense. And you can write these words down as you think of them here. I'm not writing them all down on mine, but you guys can for yours so you can remember what you thought of. But here's where it's going to get interesting because there's nothing there. This is where you get to really brainstorm what happens next in the last part of this. So looking back on here, remember these question words. Maybe we could go back to the word where, like where do they end up next at the end? You guys have any thoughts of where they are at the end here? Go ahead, William.
They ended up in Antarctica.
They ended up where?
In Antarctica.
Did you say Antarctica? Oh, wow. Okay. Do they time travel? Maybe? Oh, no. Because that's a long ways away. You can tell us maybe how did they get to Antarctica?
They ride a tire.
They ride a tire? Like inside the tire is rolling like that. Oh my gosh. I would have never thought of that. Riding a tire to Antarctica. Wow. You guys both, man. Would not have thought of that one. How about for you, Nisaya? Where are they going to end up in your story?
So he magically turns his head, and then they're all at Jurassic Park.
Ah, I wondered if anybody would go there. That's a good one. You've seen that movie before?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so is William. Okay. Jurassic Park. He turned his head and they went to Jurassic Park. Okay, interesting. So are they how do they feel like is the boy at Jurassic Park too or just the dinosaurs?
Everyone is, except the classmates.
Except the classmates. How about the teacher? Does the teacher go to Jurassic Park?
I'm pretty sure she just faints and just stays
Faints.
there.
She's on the ground, passed out.
Yeah.
Okay. So now at Jurassic Park, what's going to happen there at Jurassic Park?
The dinosaurs are running past Bart because the rest of Jurassic Park characters are running after them.
Oh no. Now they're
That's
all getting involved.
Yes.
I love it. That's a good one. How about you, William? They're in Antarctica. What's going to happen in Antarctica?
They eat ices.
Ices? Like with the flavored syrup and stuff on it? You guys are cracking me up. Oh my goodness, this is going to be fun. All right, so you get the idea. You're going to finish up. If this helps you, go ahead and, during your homework time, you can finish up putting down some notes here for yourself. If this is too hard and you just would rather just write your story, you can. Okay, I'm going to give you that freedom to choose whether or not you want to use this. But of course, remember, this is super important to help you with a plot. So if you get stuck and you're like, I don't know what I want to happen next, use some of these question words to help you come up with a plot, okay? But before we go, let's look at your checklist really quick because we do have a new dress up word. Yay! You now have 6 dress up words, and I'm going to tell you that's the maximum. So we won't have any more than that. So you can relax about that. But check it out on the dress ups right here. You have ly adverb, who, which, those are all normal. Strong verb, that's normal. Because clause, quality adjective, and here's the new one, the www.asia clause. Notice they did not put be on there. When we're doing our grammar, we usually talk about www.asia.be. That's because the letter B stands for because, but you already have a because clause. So we're not going to include because on this clause, the Asia clause. But down at the bottom of your page here in this blank spot, I want you to write down www.asia. And then, do you guys remember what all those letters stand for? Anybody remember what they stand for? I'm going to write them down. You guys write them down too so you can remember. It's when, while, where. And then I just want you to underline the W's here. When, while, where. And then it's as, since, if, although, and underline just the first letter, you'll see that it spells out Asia. As, since, if, although. So ASIA spells Asia. So you now need to include one of these words. It can be in the middle of the sentence. It doesn't have to be the first word. It can be anywhere in the sentence. But now you need to include one of these in each paragraph. Okay? So you've got 6 words to underline now. And don't forget, you still have topic clincher up here. It's worded a little different. You probably noticed that last time. It says clincher sentences repeat or reflect 2 to 3 keywords of central fact. That just means your topic sentence. So same rule, 2 to 3 words that you bold or highlight or put a box around. And then your 6 dress ups. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, good. So your homework is to write 3 paragraphs. If you want to write more like Tyler did, you can. If you have more you want to say and you want to have a 4th paragraph, go for it. And what he did was just make another row of boxes over here so that he can remember to add all of his dress ups to the 4th paragraph. So if you want to make it a little longer, I'm okay with that. But that's your homework, to write the story about this book and dinosaur. Okay, and then your grammar. Any questions about that? Nope. Okay, good job, you guys. I'm excited to hear what you come up with. Have fun with it. Bye. See you next week.